Matthew, it's a pleasure to see you again and talk about this film. What I responded most to is the search of spirituality in those circumstances. Was it very important for you for the character?
Well, for the character is much more of an agnostic, not a man of faith and not a consciously spiritual guy. But I love that sort of awakens in him. You know, I mean, it's a story of facing death to be conscious about your life again, which we all do in certain extents, not maybe to the extreme that Arthur does it. But I thought the whole trip through the forest in Aoki was purgatory. You know, that bridge to get to the other side. And sometimes it's not for us to say, I'm ready to pass. And it's up to life to say, oh yeah, you're going to pass? We're going to test you to see how bad you want to pass. And see if you make it to the other side.
Yeah, that was such an interesting idea, and especially as a character you had to be ahead of the audience all the time because of what he's going through. So how much is that a challenge from an acting exercise point of view?
Well, acting, it's moment to moment. Acting, I was never, plus it's in the script, I was never trying to stay ahead. Now, directing-wise, Gus, what he did, and how much do you hint, are things not as they seem in the forest? Is Takumi not exactly who he appears to be, or is he more than he appears to be? That's more of the script and the director's job. My job was just to try to not get ahead of myself, just to stay in the moment and hear everything for the first time, and then to often wonder, wait a minute, what'd you say? You know, with Takumi. Have I heard that before? I feel like I've heard that before. Maybe never mind. Maybe I haven't heard that before. My job is just to stay moment to moment.
I'm talking about the moment. How much does the location also infuse the story, infuse the spirituality of it?
Well, I mean, we were in beautiful national parks, 6 of them for 2 months. It's a wonderful place to go to work. Much less necessity for the imagination because you're in it. And so many times, instead of having to conjure up a feeling or a sense of place, it was just about relaxing and looking around. Yeah.
Tell us about working with Ken Watanabe. He is that kind of mystical actor that has so many multifacets to him.
Very majestic man with a great sense of humor. Really enjoyed working with Ken. Really did. We obviously had our journey together in the film. Had a couple of nice lunches together. You know, Ken's got it. When you meet Ken, and it carries on after you get to know him or work with him, you see a man that has his own strong constitution, and he carries that with him. There's a lot of honor that he has, and is really respectful of himself and other people, and a joy to work with.
Same with Naomi Watts. She is the kind of actress that can give you different tones to a same character, and it was quite important for that one in particular.
She's kind of as good as it gets. I mean, she's all about the work. She comes to work ready to work. Her and I spoke to. I met her through Joan, the character. When we were done shooting, it was like, "Hi, Naomi." But I mean, it was all about the work and experimenting. You know, she's someone as a person, as a woman, she doesn't bring any baggage or etc. or lanyap or anything from the outside world that doesn't have to do with the world that you're acting in. And that's free. That makes it fun. It's not pretentious, it's fun. Wonderful actress. Does a bunch of very small things on screen that you don't even notice until you see it. Sometimes the second time.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Is it the kind of movie that you can research? I mean, I have been through a similar experience and I identified with the film, so I'm sure there are people you can talk to about it.
I mean, look, the research for me was people in a relationship like this. And there's a lot of them, a lot more than I knew. Passive aggressive on one side, feeding the angst of the alpha alcoholic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of relationships like that. And then understanding how, for like a guy like Arthur, how a passive aggressive is actually quite the monster, you know? And that was where most of my, if anything was specific for the research for me was, I had different people and counselors and my pastor and psychologists and stuff that have spent time with couples going through, marriage counselors going through this, so that hopefully they don't have to go through what our couple has to go through. You know, but there's a whole lot of people. So understanding that and understanding how a passive aggressive can actually be a complete monster.
Absolutely. Do you feel like, you know, with the success in your career and the Oscar, you can be a little bit more creative in what you do, a little bit more choosy in what you want to take on? Pardon me.
I mean, with the success comes more options. I don't feel like I'm being any more. So choosy would mean if I have more options, I have more options of choice, which just comes with some success, and you know, an Oscar helps that out. I don't feel like I'm being any more creative than I was. I feel like I'm being as creative in different ways. Each film that I'm doing, I kind of feel like it's going to be my last one, or try to approach it that way and give it the justice it deserves in that way, and say this could be it. This is the last one, and I don't want to do it unless I'd be happy going, this could be my last one.
Yeah, that's a good approach. Yeah. Do you feel like your best role is as family man?
My best role?
Yes.
Well, that's a real life role.
Yeah.
I mean, that's being my marriage and being fathers, two of the most important things, and the 5 most important things in my life, going along with career, health, and friendships. So, you know, that's something that's part of my makeup every day. And even if I'm not with my kids and my wife, they're with me, you know. So it's something, like I said, that's part of my DNA now.
It helps that your wife is one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. So
I agree with you.
It's incredible. And has there ever been a point of your career where you were not satisfied with where it was going and thought, you know, it's time for a turning point?
Yeah, well, there's been times in my career where I was thought that, you know what, everything's going fine. I enjoy my work. I've got the things that are important to me in my life, but my life feels more adventurous, more exciting, more real, more hard, more sad, more happy. I laugh louder, maybe I cry harder in my real life than I do my work. And I said, well, all right, McConaughey, number one, glad it's that way instead of the other way around. But then number two, let's go try and find some work that can turn me on as much as my life was turning me on. And so I know about 5 years ago, I made a conscious decision to say, I love the work that I'm doing right now, but I'm going to go in the shadows for a while. I'm going to go away for however long it takes to hopefully have some roles come to me that scare the shit out of me, that really turn me on. I go, ooh, what's this going to be like? And it took about 2 years of doing nothing to, I guess, sort of become some people's directors' new good idea. And so, yeah, you know, started another chapter. Same book. I don't subscribe to the, it's a whole new career. No, it's the same career. Just got new chapters, and you keep turning the pages, and we'll see where it goes.
You've been to Cannes before. There's that whole, you know, I call it the masquerade of the red carpet going up with all those photographers. I don't think you see it anywhere, even at the Oscars, how unusual it is. So do you enjoy it?
Yeah, very much. Because it's very deliberate. There's no pretense about it, actually. It's not, there's really no masquerade about it. It is what it is. There are no interviews. You don't show up at your premiere here and then talk about the film. No, you do that in the day. But when you show up there, it is all about 15 minutes of, it's about the people that made the film. And it's not, notice that red carpet's not 8 feet wide, it's about 40 feet wide. And it is, there's a majesty to it and a ceremony to it. It's more of an entrance, it's a red entrance rather than a red carpet. It's a grand entrance. It's there's not a better entrance to go into the auditorium to present your film and share it to people and declare, here's what we did. You know?
Do people around you take pictures of what happens for you? Do you make it personal as well?
How do you mean take pictures?
Like people who come with you take pictures of you on the carpet for your own personal enjoyment?
No.
To remember the moment?
No, I mean, I'll get someone usually, you know, will send me a nice shot or something. My publicist will show me a nice shot of a good moment. And it's usually not a standing in front of the camera pose moment. It's usually a candid something. I was, you know, talking to someone who you don't see in the picture. Or I got, the last time we were here, there's a beautiful picture of my wife and I. It was either last time or the time before, it was raining. It's just, it was really nice. There were umbrellas just across the entire plateau of the background, and one getting out of the car, and I was just 8 feet foreground, and obviously I was under the awning, and I did not have an umbrella. It was just nice because it was just the sea of umbrellas behind me.
Yeah, beautiful.
And it was just a great shot.